30% of your fluid comes from your food, but don't try to give us that bull crap excuse. I get plenty of fluid from my food. No, you don't, Karen. Don't try to give us this. If you are fat and sick, there's a reason. And this is the number 2 biggest cause. So as a lack of water. Number 1 was a lack of sleep. Number 2 is a lack of water. So don't give us this whole baloney because you don't got this. You don't got this. And let's definitely give them some tips and tricks. That's going to help it go down easier. I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening. Back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. And today is part 2 of our Back to Basics series. We're kind of just doing a little series of Back to Basics because, we're right around 200 episodes. Well, we covered these subjects 200 episodes ago. I think it was episode 1, 2, and 3. We covered these. And so we thought it would be good to revisit this subject about Back to Basics, part 2, which is water. And sis, why is it so hard for people to get this? Why is it that people have so much pushback when it comes to proper hydration? And I don't understand. They just,
I think, Cristy, that part of it is some of the myths and the misnomers we've been led to believe about water intake. And also, I think that people don't understand the science behind being dehydrated and hydrated, and also how much fluid we're losing every day. People have no idea. And it's interesting, Cristy, I say this all the time when I'm on the pages, but nobody was saying a word to me when I drank a gallon of Diet Coke every day. But like, to use the famous words of Cristy, Katie bar the door if I drink a gallon of water. Everyone thinks I'm going to die of hydronephrosis and over being over water, and I'm going to have a brain swelling, It's like crazy. Some of the stuff we hear is crazy. We've heard it all.
We've heard it all for sure. And so what are we even talking about? On our program, on the Code Red Lifestyle, we believe in drinking at least a gallon of water a day. I'm telling you, I don't know of anybody on our program who needs to be drinking less than a gallon. So a gallon is the minimum. And then when you're on a personalized program, what we call a home study program, one that is written for you with your calories, your macros, your water, your goal weight, then we actually tell you the correct amount for you. And it's probably not a gallon, by the way. It's probably going to be a whole lot more. And to give you a point of reference, I drink, and we sell these on our website. This is the Code Red water bottle. This is 40 ounces. Carrie has one. I have one. They come in, I think, like 7 different colors. You can get them customized, personalized. I have home is where the Wi-Fi is. I have my name is on there. And this is 40 ounces. And I drink 4 of these a day, never less than 4 of these a day. Now you're thinking, well, Cristy, you're 155 pounds. Well, why? What do you mean? Like I'm supposed to be drinking? No. Listen, I've been doing Code Red for a really long time. I've been doing Code Red for 8 years, and I've been drinking this amount of water for that long. My body is used to it, and it knows how to handle that water amount. Plus, I work out a lot. We're just coming out of summer. I've been outside. I walk sometimes 6 to 10 miles a day, and I'm sweating. So this is the water amount that is correct for me. When you get a personalized program, a home study program, you'll find out what the water amount is for you. But we don't have anybody drink less than a gallon a day.
Well, and we're not suggesting that kids drink a gallon.
Right.
You need to check with your doctor on that.
Yeah.
And if you're super tiny, you're probably not doing Code Red. If you're
right.
100 pounds,
that's right.
100 pounds, 5 foot tall, you may not want to drink a gallon, but these are the exceptions. And so we're not telling you how much your kids should drink, and we're not telling you how much you drink if you're really, really tiny. But Cristy, I think part of the problem is that people don't understand. Well, let me back up. We as a society are chronically dehydrated, and so many of our problems that we experience can be attributed to chronic dehydration, brain fog, headaches, fatigue. It's very interesting. A constipation is often linked to being dehydrated, just feeling blah, not feeling good. It's amazing how a bottle of water, people are like, oh, I felt so much better after drinking a bottle of water, or I went to the ER and I got 2 bags of fluids. Well, why do you think? Like, we're so dehydrated as a society.
Even studies have shown even a 1% drop in hydration could yield a 10% drop in strength. And when you think strength, you might be thinking, well, I'm not a power lifter. I don't deadlift. Strength is strength. Strength is carrying your toddler in from the car when he fell asleep. Strength is carrying your groceries in. Strength is just walking up the stairs. You're going to a 10% drop in strength. That's significant for just a slight decrease in water. And it was funny, Carrie, we were coming off the Fall in Love with You retreat, September 2022. We just had our retreat, excellent retreat. And Mama Carol, our mama, you all know her, you all love her. We know she listens to this. Hi, Mom. She said to me, no, she's really, really good about drinking her water. And she said, I said, Mom, how you feeling? She goes, man, on that, I just had such a headache all day long. But immediately she said, but I know exactly why. It's because I wasn't drinking my water and I was drinking too much coffee. And she said, and that's what happens to me, sis. When I don't have my water, right when I wake up, we go walk to the bathroom, we go potty, we strip down naked, we weigh ourselves, and then we immediately turn and grab that bottle and start drinking it. The earlier, the better. And when I don't, just like Mama Carol, I got myself a headache.
Yeah. And in fact, Cristy, one of the tips that we give rebels to drinking your water, and we'll talk more about that later, is I actually have a bottle filled in my bedroom, room temperature, because that's how I drink it, because I've had a lot of stomach surgeries. I find it a little easier to drink at room temperature, but I absolutely go pee, change my clothes, brush my teeth, weigh myself, and then I start drinking my water. Before I even come downstairs, I usually have a half a bottle gone. It's easy if you do it like that. If you guys are waiting till after your 3rd cup of coffee, no, you got to hit that hard and fast. Like, it needs to be a priority. I was going to talk about how much fluid we lose every day, Cristy, because I think that the average person is not aware. If you see me looking down, I just have this information pulled out. People can lose even up to several gallons of water a day. And let me include in this, when I was in nursing school, my very first medical surgical, anyone's had med surg, very first test. So one of the questions was, what is the most accurate way to measure a patient's hydration status? And of course wasn't even a nurse yet. So I was like, INOs. So how much they're taking in, how much they're peeing out. Then I was like, ooh, their CVP, their central venous pressure. That's a good way. And I got all of it wrong. And the answer was their daily weight was the best way to know what their hydration status is. So I have seen patients in a hospital that we will give like a diuretic to, Cristy, and they'll lose, and this is awful for their electrolytes, but if they're really overloaded, they'll lose 10 pounds in a day. They will. I mean, if you're really swollen, you'll wait the next morning. You're like, oh my gosh, I lost. And that's water. Obviously, they didn't lose weight. They lost water. So the only reason I told you that is because you do lose a lot of fluid just going pee every day. Of course, people that have kidney problems, if they're on dialysis, they don't pee at all. They don't make urine. So breathing is another way we lose water. When we breathe in, we breathe out. We're exhaling humidity. Carbon. So that's another thing. Sweating. I know everyone's like, I don't sweat, but even just normal perspiration every single day, and digestion. We do lose water with digestion. So it's really important to keep, even though you may say, well, I sit at a desk all day, you're still going to be in a deficit if you're not taking in water every single day.
So one of the myths, or one of the things that we hear people say a lot, and you have heard it too, is, well, you need half your body weight in ounces a day of water. And I say, no, that's the bare minimum you need to even survive, for your body to have any kind of function. I wouldn't even say normal function. I'm going to say barely hovering above dehydration is half your body weight in ounces a day. Although I would argue that people most don't even get that. And so we're talking for the tear ducts. We're talking for sweat glands. We're talking just to go potty and not have your pee bright yellow. I mean, it's really important. And that's what people think. Well, half your body weight. So I would be at 75 ounces a day. Oh my gosh. I would be hurting for certain. And so no, that's not true. But let's address some of the other myths. Carrie, I know that people say if you drink too much water, you'll get brain damage.
And there are cases, there are some mental illnesses where people drink water so much they can actually have brain swelling. But honestly, you're going to throw up before that happens.
Sure.
I mean, you can't chug a gallon at a time. That's stupid. So I do think that's really, really important to keep in mind that rarely does someone get water toxicity. This is usually someone who's mentally ill and does not have that natural turn off. It's time to stop. I have heard of people getting a little bit sick when they chug a bunch of water without electrolytes. So we have to be cautious about that. But that is a myth, Cristy. It's pretty rare. I have seen it, but it's kind of it's a rare situation. It's sort of like someone overdosing on vitamins. It doesn't happen quite as much as as people, anti-vitamin people want to make it sound,
Right. Right. It takes a ton. And like Carrie was mentioning, mental illness patients don't have that their body will naturally throw it up before they'll die, but they don't have that shut off switch, and they might just, because they don't know, drink too much. And people always want to bring up those half a dozen cases out of the 7.5 billion people on this planet. But no, it's very rare, and you don't have to worry about it. But one thing you do have to think about, and I guess we should say worry about, is electrolytes. So let's touch on electrolytes, because Carrie, on the Code Red lifestyle, we not only do we drink a lot of food, but we don't eat foods that hang on to a lot of water. So we're constantly flushing water.
Yeah, that is exactly, you explained it perfectly. And just to add to that, just to unpack a little bit more, when you eat processed food, when you eat a lot of carbohydrates that are processed, those hang on to fluid. Just like Cristy said, they hang on to it. So during the day, you feel puffy, your rings, like after you go and have a big meal, the next morning you feel kind of puffy. That is what's happening. So on the Code Red lifestyle, we eat real food. We drink our water, we sleep. So when we're eating real food, you're not having so much processed crap that hangs on to fluid. So a lot of people that are just starting the Code Red lifestyle, they lose a lot of weight in the beginning. A lot of that is toxins and water. So because this lifestyle does not cause you to perpetually hang on to water, you need to replace your electrolytes as you have symptoms and as you feel. Now, I've done a great video on electrolyte imbalances and how to know. But Cristy, some of the signs of being low in electrolytes are headaches, foggy brain, just feeling not right. You can definitely feel sick to your stomach. You can feel a little dizzy. You can just kind of just have this, in the medical field, we call it malaise, like general malaise, just meh. I don't know how to do that. Like me, I just feel malaise. That's what I always think when I heard that word, malaise. Anyway, I'm probably saying it wrong. But so if you have any of those feelings when you're drinking this much water, you have to replace your electrolytes. And you can do some of that through eating. We love Redmond real salt. We think you should salt your food liberally. But if you can't drink it all, if you can't eat it all, there are ways to get it in your actual water.
And there are 3 Cristy approved electrolytes for the Code Red Rebels. The first one is the Redmond Relight powder or Redmond Relight pills. Either one is fine. They make them in pills. They make them in powder. You can put it in your water, shake, 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 and it'll taste like a pina colada or a blackberry or whatever flavor you got. And it's a very, very, very high quality and very potent. So you not only have your sodium and potassium, you have your magnesium, you have chloride, you have other minerals that we tend to lose when we're drinking a lot of water and not eating foods that hold on to water, flushing a lot of water. You flush those electrolytes. We want to replace them. So Redmond Relight, either the pill or the powder, is a very high quality, very affordable way to replace your electrolytes. Option number 2 is Caged Hydra Charge, not Hydro, Hydra Charge. And it is comes in a canister or the pixie sticks. And it's a wide variety of flavors. The numbers aren't quite as potent on the Caged as the Redmond Relight, but it tastes divine. It tastes like Kool-Aid. It's really, really, really good. There's a flavor for everybody. And the third option, of course, we have discounts on all 3 of these options. The third option is the Ultima Replenisher is what it's called. Ultima Replenisher. In my opinion, a little more on the spendy side, but you do get the Code Red discount at 10% off, and that does help. And it does come in a wide variety of flavors, and the quality, I would say, is probably between the Relight and the Hydro Charge. So 3 excellent options for you. In addition to salting your food, you can also take Redmond Real Salt, not the bullcrap Morton's table salt with the girl with the umbrella. That's overprocessed, bleached salt. That's not even going to do you a hill of beans good. But you can put a teaspoon of Redmond Real Salt in a gallon of water, shake it up, and you won't even taste it.
The Redmond pills, when Cristy's talking about the pills, they are actual salt just in a capsule. That's what it is. They are salt. They have sodium. They have a little bit of potassium. They have a little bit of magnesium. This is just like they took it out of the earth. They ground it up. They stuck it in a vegan, non-GMO capsule, and they mail it to you. My husband doesn't like a lot of flavor in his water. So they're called Hydration Support and Hydration Support Plus. Those are the name of the capsules. But we used to give them all the time to people in the ICU that had, like if they had brain surgery, we would not give them Redmond, but we would give them like literally salt tabs. I mean, that's what they call them. And so you'd have to crush them up, put them in their feeding tubes. They were awful. They should have had some Redmonds in there. That would have worked better. But the Redmond powder, just beware that it's delicious, but it's very salt forward. So you can use less, but it does. The numbers are phenomenal. I mean, you get the most bang for your buck with that product. If you don't mind a salty taste, it's great to go. I am fine with the HydroCharge. It just depends. It depends, but you have to do it. Listen, do not get your bull crap, Zip Fizz, Gatorade Zero, your Arbonne drinks, your all this crap. Stop. Cristy has picked products, and we have vetted these products that are clean. They don't have fillers. They don't have a bunch of junk in them. And that's what I like about these products.
Carrie, when I was hiking Mount Whitney and hiking rim to rim, the Grand Canyon, the only thing I carried was just the hydration tabs from Redmond. Yeah. And it gave me, it was 400 milligrams of sodium. I think I took every hour. I just kept up the salt, because you will not even believe how much better you'll feel. Normally on someone who's a Code Red Rebel and they're saying, man, I just had this kind of this nagging headache. The first, they don't even get all the words out. We're like, salt, get some salt. Yep. Same thing with Mom's husband, Brian. He was, his first month on Code Red, he was having, he was kind of feeling a little bit down. And I said, salt. Let's get him some salt. And immediately within a half hour, he started feeling better. So it's really the remedy for almost always when you have a headache and you're on Code Red, it's almost always a low sodium issue.
Well, and it could be another electrolyte as well. But
sure.
What I tell people, Cristy, when they write into the help desk, they're like, I just started the program and I feel, my first words, I read it. I'm always like, what are you doing for electrolytes? Double it. That should be your rule of thumb. Remember, folks, that except for potassium, and if you have normal kidneys, this is not a problem. Your electrolytes are water soluble. So what that means is if your kidneys are working appropriately and you get a little bit too much salt, your kidneys, that's the way God made them. They know how to balance and excrete what you don't need. Too much magnesium, not enough this. They pull it out of the bones. Your body is genius. God has done a beautiful job designing our bodies. So your kidneys know how to balance your electrolytes. That is why when people are on dialysis, Cristy, the dialysis machine, you load up the sodium solution, you load up the potassium solution. And then we look at your lab work. I've never done dialysis. I've only watched it in the ICU. And they come up with a wash for your blood to run your blood through these electrolytes. They're doing the kidney's function. That's what the kidney does naturally. So don't stress about getting too much, because you will pee out the excess as long as your kidneys are working the right way. And I was looking at this article. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That is a question we get once in a while is, can I get too much? We get it quite often. Can I have too much HydroCharge? Can I have too much Relight? Can I get too much Ultima? And there's too much. There's a safe threshold for everything. There's a safe threshold for arsenic in your body. Really, if you're thinking about it. So your body, you'll know when you get too much. We just don't see that very often. Your body's just going to pee it out.
But what I do see is people not being smart about their electrolytes and ending up in the ER because they aren't smart. You got to nail it. If you're going to drink this much water, you have to replace your electrolytes. And cramping, of course, this video I have on support.coderedlifestyle.com. If you look up electrolytes, you can see a video that I made outlining a lot of the common low electrolyte symptoms. Cristy, I just found this awesome article. It says, water is the main component of blood. Water. That's why you need to stay hydrated. Water regulates your internal body temperature. Yes. Any temperature water helps regulate your own internal body temperature. Even though sweat can help cool you down, just being hydrated will help you regulate better. And it lubricates your joints and it cushions vital organs. You got to think though, Cristy, this is gross, but I'm going to say it. Are you ready? Here we go. The same skin that's right here in your mouth, okay, it goes all the way down your esophagus, into your stomach, down through your intestines and out your rectum. It's all one long tube, y'all. Now, all the parts do different things. Okay. Obviously, certain parts of your intestines take certain things out. Your stomach is a different kind of, but it's basically the same thing. So that tract, if you dragged it out, that's really long. Like, throat all the way down through intestine, back and forth all the way throughout the rectum. All of that has to stay lubricated for everything to work. I can't poop. Well, how much are you drinking? Nothing. Well, good luck. We got rabbit pellets in there. You got to get that going. So I think it's really important not only to maintain your electrolytes, but to realize, I just wanted to bring that up, how important hydration is for stuff that you can't even see. If you don't feel good, you write into me. I'm going to say double your electrolytes and up your water. It is time to do that. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is if you do start to have more diarrhea with your electrolytes, you're going to just want to back off a little bit on them. Magnesium causes everything to calm down. And magnesium is in a lot of electrolytes. So if you're calming your intestinal tract, it's letting all the poo go through quicker. You just want to keep that in mind.
Studies have also shown for you coffee drinkers, and I ain't judging you because I'm a coffee drinker and so is Carrie, but a bottle of water can wake you up faster than a cup of coffee. It can. Try it. We want our Code Red Rebels. We allow people to drink coffee on the Code Red lifestyle. We think there are other benefits to coffee, catecholamines. It helps mobilize fatty acids, but we always want people drinking an entire bottle of water, but while their coffee is brewing, you want to get that first bottle going. It's going to wake you up. It's going to help to get you going so you can go poop. It's just going to get everything jump started and ready to go. You don't want to start your morning off with Diet Coke or a coffee or a Red Bull or a Monster, whatever the heck people are drinking, because we hear this all the time. I get plenty of fluids. You're drinking plenty of other stuff that's not really even, it's fake food. It's made in a lab. The Diet Coke is made in a lab. The Red Bulls and the Monster is made in a lab. That's not real stuff that your body knows how to effectively use and utilize. So you're not going to get the same benefit out of those liquids as you are just good old fashioned pure water.
Cristy, you can eat your water too. Did you know that? Cucumbers, lettuce,
30%.
Yeah, you can eat. Of course, one example was watermelon. We don't suggest that in weight loss mode, but if you're around someone that's really dehydrated, you don't have water and you have a watermelon, I mean, go for it. Not a Code Red weight loss approved. You can have it in maintenance, but not when you're in weight loss mode. It's a lot of sugar. But if you eat a big salad, you eat a bunch of cucumbers, you're going to be able to eat some of your water too. So I think that's really, really important. Do you want to talk about some tips and tricks on how
and let me say that 30% of your fluid comes from your food, but yes, don't try to give us that bull crap excuse. I get plenty of fluid from my food. No, you don't, Karen. Don't try to give us this. If you are fat and sick, there's a reason. And this is the number 2 biggest cause. So as a lack of water. Number 1 was a lack of sleep. Number 2 is a lack of water. So don't give us this whole baloney because you don't got this. You don't got this. And let's definitely give them some tips and tricks. That's going to help it go down easier.
People are so funny. People that have had gastric bypass say to me, I can't drink the water. I can't drink the water. And I want to tell you guys, I know you've probably all heard this story, but when I very first started Code Red, I tried to drink my gallon of water and I was sick to my stomach and throwing up. So I got a hold of Cristy. I was like, I can't do this. I'm going to throw up. And she said, well, don't make yourself throw up. But she probably wanted to say, oh, shut up, Carrie, like with your ridiculousness, come on. But I stopped whining about it. And I found some ways. So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to address that real quick. If you've had gastric bypass, if you've had some sort of gastric surgery, a sleeve, a band, whatever, I've had them all. And they failed miserably. And now I have some weird kind of, hybrid bypass thing going on because of damages, but I can drink easily more than a gallon of water a day. I have to start early. I have to not have it around meals. And the other thing is room temperature water. Remember that cold is going to seize up. Anytime you drink a cold drink, it's going to make it harder. Those of you that have had those kinds of surgeries, it's going to make it harder to get the water down. So sometimes, like Cristy, when we were just at the retreat, I actually put a little bit of hot water in my water bottle just to make sure it was a little bit on the warmer side. And that worked like a charm. I also talk a lot about some tips and tricks on the help desk as well for people that have had surgery. But let me tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you cut out all your orange juice and your maca chocolate ludus, all these $10 mochas you're buying, you cut out all of that, you will crave your water. I wake up every morning craving water, and I know Cristy does as well. I really do. And if I don't have my water, I feel like something is off for my day. It's being hydrated makes your skin look good, makes your nails look good.
It helps your hair grow. It really is. It helps everything function much better. I know I feel rough. You know, I feel like the Tin Man on the Wizard of Oz. I feel rusty. I feel like I can't properly move or just get, and then some days, you know, maybe your flight got in late and you're sleeping in and now you're getting up at 9 or 10 in the morning instead of 5. You're way behind the 8 ball on your water, man. You feel it in the morning. You are dehydrated and you just wake up behind and it's a rotten feeling. And I know that's a big tip for me. I have sensitive teeth and I have to drink mine at room temperature. So tip number 1, drink it at room temperature.
And some people love it ice cold. But for some people, if you have trouble with the ice cold, you can't get it down, it kind of makes you nauseated. You absolutely need to drink it at room temperature. And also tip number 2, if you are really, really tired, remember that you can be thirsty and it will hijack your hunger pathway. So your brain will tell you that you want to eat, but you actually just want to drink. You need to drink something. Shout out to Mama Carol, who we would say, I'm hungry. And she would say, go drink a big glass of water and get back to me. I'm not saying she was totally right. She was so right about so many things. So if you feel hungry, try drinking a big glass of water and see how your hunger is.
Tip number 3 is drink it with a straw. Now, all of our Code Red water bottles come with a straw, a spout, a flippy thing, and a straw. And this really, you can always do the Nancy Bond 10 sip rule. I can't do it. It's too many sips. I can do 5 maybe, but you just grab that and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll have that bottle down in no time.
Yeah. Anytime you pick up a bottle, you better be taking 5 to 10 sips. Never, ever pick it up and sip 1. I mean, you need to go, I go 1, 2, 3. You do that a couple times and you're through with a bottle. My next tip would be, you have to be very intentional about your water drinking. It has to be first thing in the morning. I mean, it has to be, fill it up. And that leads me to the next one, Cristy. Never leave home without it.
No, I was going to say that too. You can't go anywhere. It goes to Costco with you. It sits with a baby in the little baby part of your stroller, of your cart. It goes in the car. It sits between your thighs. It goes to work with you. Mine goes across the house with me. I don't go anywhere without it. It's always, Mom, I was just over at Mom's house, Carrie, and she was out showing me the chicken pen and she had her bottle tucked in like a little baby in her arm. And she was just walking around with it like this. That's how you've got to do if you want to get in that gallon.
Figure out Christy's absolutely right. And figure out what kind of container you like to drink from. I knew a person who would fill up a gallon and they worked from home and they had a real pretty like acrylic or glass thing. And they would they'd put ice in it. They slice their lemons, throw it in there. And then all day long, they just take their little cup and just fill up from that main gallon. And then that's how they drank it. That would drive me nuts. But that's how that worked for them. Some people put, to keep track, they'll put like hair bands on their bottle. Yeah, and right. When they move down the 4, some people use marker, like erasable, like whiteboard marker, and they do a thing. Some people have those really fancy. I saw someone at the retreat, Cristy, Nurse Hope. She had a really fancy one where the bottom part like lit up and told her it was time to drink more water. Set alarms on your phone. I mean, there are so many ways but you got to figure out what container. Cristy, when you first started, before we got our water bottles, remember you had that one big 1-gallon jug. And then that's how my daughter-in-law does it. She works through a big jug.
but a gallon's not enough for me anymore. So, I mean, with all this training I'm doing for the Arnold Classic, I'm up to about 175 ounces a day because I'm training every day so hard. So the gallon doesn't work. And I think it's kind of flimsy, but if that's what works for you, my gosh, like find something that you like. I don't care if it's rainbow colors. I don't care if it says those little sayings like, keep going, you can do it, whatever it's going to take. I don't care if it's one of our Code Red water bottles. If you need one that tapers at the bottom so it fits in your cup holder, it doesn't matter what it is as long as you can keep track. Because here's what I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear, hey, Karen, how much water did you drink? Almost, kind of, just about, right at, no ish, no kind of, no almost, no, I want you to know exactly how much water you've drank. Be militant about your water.
You drink in a normal day. People always write into us, I drink a lot of water. Well, how much is a lot?
Yeah.
Well, like 3 Aquafina bottles. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. But thank you. Good effort. That's not a lot.
No,
it isn't. That's not even enough for hydration. No. It's not a lot. And if you are struggling, cut out everything else but water. And trust me, you'll get thirsty for that water. For me, Cristy, being able to add something to my water has been helpful. Huge. The taste, I don't mind plain water, but Cristy and I have traveled and the tap water is terrible. So we will buy water or we'll just do the tap water and add a little bit of HydroCharge or whatever it is, little Ultima. I mean, Ultima comes in freaking pomegranate, for heaven's sakes. I mean, there's just, they have pina colada. I mean, they have every
lemon,
flavor.
Orange, grape.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, they have everything you can imagine. So there's no excuse not to have a flavor if that's what works for you. Some people don't like that. So I saw someone, Cristy, they had a carabiner on their handle part and they had little beads and they moved the beads up till they got to their 4 a day. So it definitely, you can figure out what works for you. Some people, Cristy, and I love this idea, it just never worked for me. If they know they have to have 4 water bottles, they will literally fill up 4 water bottles and one's pink, one's red, one's blue, one's green. And they just work through them and then wash everything and do the same thing the next day. So we don't care if yours has like, keep going, almost there. Yay, girl. Yay. Some of them have little lines like if that is going to motivate you, then do it. But I went through several containers until I found one I really liked. And the Code Red water bottle, I know I have to have 3 or 4 a day. That's just easy for me. And I always know how many I've had. Before I go to the gym, I've usually had 2. And then I know my 3rd one's in the gym and one's going to be in the afternoon. It's just super easy.
Well, I wish I had $1 for every time I heard what I'm getting ready to tell you guys. And that is, but I'm peeing all the time. Yes. Let's address the elephant in the room. The first week of you doing this, you are going to pee all the time, according to you. Now you went from being chronically dehydrated to being properly hydrated. Your body's not used to it. And yeah, if you don't pee all day long, Carrie, I've flown that Boise to Atlanta flight, which is 4.5 hours. And the guy next to me never got up to pee. What is wrong with you people? I get up every 30 minutes. And so your kidneys, like Carrie says, will concentrate eventually and will get used to the amount of water that you give it and you won't pee all the time. But I want to ask you, so what if you're peeing all the time? Why is that such a bad thing? Carrie and I travel all the time together. We both pee the same amount. Is it that big of a deal to ask your partner just to pull over at a rest stop or you just pull over and pee in the ditch? Like, is it that big of a deal to pee in the woods on your walk? Is it that big of a deal to get up like I do every 30 minutes and go to the bathroom on an airplane? I just make sure I sit on the aisle. What's so wrong with that? I'd rather be healthy and hydrated.
I agree. And it may take, just so you know, it may take a little bit longer than a couple weeks, depending on who you are. But eventually what happens, look, Cristy is absolutely right. Your kidneys go, okay, so this is the amount of water we're getting every day. This right here, what we're doing now, this is it. And then you go, yes, this is it. And your kidneys go, okay. And then it starts taking the water and utilizing it in the body and concentrating it a little bit more. Cristy, we would have people come into the ICU so dehydrated that it would take 3 or 4 liters in their bloodstream before they would start making urine. Like you would have, and we would say, the tank's not topped off. The tank's not topped off. You keep hanging fluid. And you knew their kidneys were fine. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, the kidneys will start making urine. And we go, yep, that's it. They're starting to get hydrated now. We're finally, so it is a good thing that you're peeing, because every time you pee, I know it's a pain. If you're busy, you are getting rid of toxins. You're properly making your system work. Your transit time is good. I was going to say, Cristy, that there are people on Code Red I'd love for you to speak to, our teachers and our like nurse anesthetists, people that cannot go pee during the day quite as much. What's a good way for them to handle that?
Yeah, we hear this too. We hear this excuse. Well, I can't do this. Like, I can't drink all that water because I can't leave my classroom. Legit. And I can't leave surgery. Legit. All right. So now what do we do? What we have you do is you think 4 liters of water. Just think 4 liters for each person. That's about a gallon, give or take 5 ounces. So we have you first wake up early and get that first liter of water done before you even leave the house, while you're getting ready, whatever, early. Then you drink a liter on your way to work. And then you're going to pee when you get to work. And you might pee a couple of times. Then you're going to sip another liter during the day. Just sip. Don't do too much. And then that's number 3. Then number 4 is going to be when you get home from work. You can do this. We've had people do it. So a liter right when you wake up, a liter on your way to work, just sip a liter through that entire 8 hours of your shift. And then a liter when you get home, and you can do it.
That's perfect. I love that. And that works for teachers. That works for any of you that say you can't do this. It really, if I had to think about anything that, if someone asked me what's the most life-changing aspect of Code Red, I mean, the weight loss is great. I would say that getting properly hydrated is generally dramatically life-changing for people. It really is.
I would agree with you. In fact, I was just on I just spoke on a summit yesterday, and she said, what's the one takeaway that you can give my audience? And I said, what, health or business? Because it was an entrepreneur podcast. And she said, well, either. And I was like, well, I mean, this goes for everybody. I said, everybody start drinking their water right now. Get at least a gallon of water a day. I don't think that she expected that, but everything levels up. You feel better. Your skin glows, your nails grow. You're less hungry. You're going potty. You're sleeping better. It gives you more energy. Everything improves when you are properly hydrated. And no, Karen, you're not properly hydrated right now. So don't give us that baloney. You're not. And so for you to say, like, I drink a lot of water, no, like, unless you're tracking and you're militant about every single ounce you're having, then you're not drinking enough water. That's just, we've had tens of thousands of people come through the program, and we know you're not drinking enough because you have so many health problems that a lot of them would go away just from being properly hydrated.
It's interesting, Cristy. I've never seen anybody who has been properly hydrated that feels worse. Right. You're never going to feel worse. You're going to feel better.
We also want you to make sure you stop drinking by 5 p.m. because people are like, I can't drink because I'm up all night peeing. Well, yeah, I hear you on that. But if you stop drinking by 5 p.m. and you're asleep by 10 p.m., between 5 and 10 p.m., that's enough for your body to empty out a couple times, and you're not up all night peeing. Now, if you're like Carrie, I know what she's going to say. I'm up all night peeing anyway. Some people are. So I'm not. I go pee once during the night, and it doesn't disrupt my sleep. But if you forget and you push that water up until bedtime, yes, you will be up all night peeing, and then you won't get your sleep, and you will not lose weight, and you will not get healthy. So stop that water off early in the evening so it doesn't disrupt your sleep.
I know as Cristy, people don't drink their water all day. Then they try to chug it at like 7, 8, and 9 p.m. Like, stop doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Yeah, that'll give you a headache for sure, because you're drinking too much too quick, and you're flushing, and your body can't keep up, and your body is like, like that kind of thing, because you're panicking. Don't do that. Like, you've already stopped. Don't make things worse. End up in the ER with brain damage, for crying out loud. It's not gonna. Don't do that. Just, we like people to start early. Whenever I get up early, sis, I'm already, like, right now we're recording this, and it's only 8:40 in the morning. I'm already 3 bottles down, but I also got up at 4 this morning, and I walked 6 miles with Hazel. And so I'm 3 bottles down. Technically, I only have 1 bottle to go. I'm sure I'm going to surpass that. So starting early is the key, and drinking steady throughout the day. Think about it. If you've got a 16-hour day and you only have 4 of these to go through, you can drink 1 of these every 4 hours. It's not that hard.
No, it's not bad at all. It really isn't. And, I think I really think that if you can't do anything else with Code Red, if you could just do this, you'll really start to see yourself feeling better.
Yeah, a lot of you guys say, we will say to you, those of you who are struggling really bad to get back on, and you're like, I just don't know what to do. Carrie and I always say the same thing, whether it be in our Instagram DMs or whether it be on our live video or whether it be just doing a coaching call or whatever we're doing. We always say the same thing. Can you just drink your water today? Can you just drink your water? And people always say, yeah, I can drink my water. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. You can't, you're not even doing anything. If you just get your water, don't worry about being an all or nothing kind of girl. If you just get your water, everything else will start to fall into place. So try not to be like, I'm an all or nothing. I have to do everything or I'm not doing anything. If you can just do your water, a lot of your problems will go away.
Agreed. 100%.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, nailing back to basics. There we go. Back to basics. Part 2, proper hydration, water, something that so many people overlook. And yet it's so easy to fix this problem in our lives, but we just don't, what do we think? We always think a pill for every ill. We don't think water. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of medical doctors that are traditionally trained. The first thing they need to be asking is, how's your sleep? How's your hydration? And they're not. They're not. And it's really sad. So we're going to say it. We're going to spread the message. And we want to remind you guys, got to get at least a gallon of water a day in, and you're going to be feeling so much better.
Yes, I agree with that. But always remember those electrolytes. Please go to the help desk, support.coderedlifestyle.com. There's an article about electrolytes. If you're concerned, you definitely can see a medical professional. Also, there's an article on how to drink your water. All the tips from all of Cristy's coaches and mentors, we put them all into one document for you.
And I have a special teaching on the 10-pound takedown. I think it's in the first week we talk about water. But yeah, if you want to feel worse when you're drinking your water, then don't replenish electrolytes. You got to replenish electrolytes or you will feel worse. So we want to just hammer that home one more time. Salt, 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 salt. Good quality salt. All right, you guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, everybody. Hey, I'm Cristy Code Red, and thank you for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you want to stay connected to other rebels like you, join us in our private network. Our Code Red app is a one-stop shop, free from ads, algorithms, and censorship, and a place where you can see, listen, and watch everything Code Red. You'll be encouraged, motivated, and fired up to stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Get recipe ideas, tips, tricks, and help from coaches, mentors, and other rebels. You can also purchase products, programs, and coaching all right there in one place. And if you have any trouble navigating the app, we're right there to help you. Go to coderedlifestyle.com/APP to join for free. And I'll see you on the next episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle.